Welcome to Ink2 Video. Every day we break down powerful books into simple stories and show you exactly how to apply them.
Meet Varda. To his colleagues and friends, he appears entirely put together, a man who never struggles and always has the right answer. But Varda is caught in a scarcity mindset. It's the nagging, societal whisper that he is never successful enough or perfect enough to be worthy of respect. To protect himself from judgment, he stays in the bleachers. He spends his time observing and critiquing the risks others take, while he remains safe, silent, and creatively paralyzed. He views his perfectionism as armor. He believes it keeps him safe from criticism, but it actually functions as a barrier that ensures he stays completely isolated. Varda spends his energy trying to fit in, which requires constantly editing himself to match the expectations of others. This is the opposite of belonging, which is the experience of being accepted for your actual, unedited self. He avoids showing that self because of a common myth, the idea that emotional exposure is a sign of weakness. He also operates under the delusion that he can opt out of vulnerability entirely, or that he can navigate his career and personal life without anyone's help. Everything changes when Varda discovers the research of Brené Brown. Her data suggests that the very things he is running from are the keys to the connection he craves. Brown's findings show that achieving true belonging is impossible without first lowering our defenses and allowing ourselves to be seen by others. Brown defines vulnerability as the willingness to navigate uncertainty, assume risk, and lean into emotional exposure. It is the act of showing up when you cannot control the outcome. This framework is inspired by Theodore Roosevelt's Man in the Arena speech, which argues that credit belongs to the person who is actually in the fight, marred by dust and sweat. This arena mindset requires a specific filter. It means prioritizing the feedback of those who are also taking risks, rather than the safe critics watching from the sidelines. Varda decides to enter the arena. He schedules a lunch and learn to present a highly personal project that is still messy and unfinished. He is gripped by the fear that his colleagues will see his imperfect work and mock him for it. Entering the arena guarantees he will face emotional risk, but it is the only way to move past his current plateau. This schematic shows psychological inhibition acting as a barrier. When guarded, defense mechanisms block neural pathways required for a flow state. For creativity to function, the brain must lower these defenses, allowing for the novel connections that define original work. Varda applies this by being honest with his audience. He starts his presentation by saying, "I'm nervous about sharing this because it's important to me, but I'd love your honest feedback." By speaking his shame and nervousness out loud, he reduces their psychological weight. The fear no longer has the power to keep him paralyzed. This demonstrates that vulnerability acts as a facilitator for the creative process. By lowering his internal walls, Varda allows his ideas to reach his colleagues without the distortion of his perfectionism. After the presentation, Varda applies the arena filter. He consciously chooses whose feedback he will actually take to heart. When one coworker makes a snarky, unhelpful comment, Varda ignores it. He focuses instead on the peers who offer constructive, collaborative ideas for improvement. This is shame resilience in action. While isolation makes shame grow, human connection and empathy dissolve it. By curating his feedback loop, Varda transforms a potentially shaming experience into a moment of genuine progress. Varda's project flourishes because he allowed others to help him finish it. He discovers a sense of internal worthiness that no longer depends on being perfect or receiving universal applause. He now commits to one act of vulnerability every week and practices self-compassion when he fails. Brené Brown's research firmly frames vulnerability as a true measurement of courage, rather than any indication of weakness. Think about your own life. Where are you currently hiding behind the armor of perfectionism? And what would happen if you dared to be seen today?
Subscribe to the channel and comment on which point you would like to implement in your life and which book we should read next.